It's your professionalism that I respect.
Stephanie, what do you call a magician that's lost his magic?
Just diving right in, aren't you? It's too early for this. What do you call a magician who's lost his magic?
Ian. It's a cerebral joke. How do you spell magician? All right, go ahead. You guys tell yours. It's one of those, you have to know how magician is spelled to get that.
Oh,
I think they spell it differently.
okay, I got it. Hugh Jackman used to be a magician. Magician. You know that?
A magician. Yes,
did you hear about the accident when he was on he was like some awards show or something, and he fell through the floorboards, and everybody was all like fighting about accountability, and it turns out he was just going through a stage.
It's a good story. I didn't know about that about Hugh.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Points for timing.
Yeah, did I ever tell you about the time that I worked at a bank?
No.
No, I was a banker. I was a bank teller, actually, but I got fired. One of the many jobs I've been fired at in my life, but this one was weird because this old lady came in and said, "Hey, I'd really like to check my balance." So I walked around the counter and pushed her over.
I saw it coming. Well done.
Yeah.
Chris, we're talking about luck today.
Yeah, dude, look, I feel lucky to be with you guys today. I feel as lucky after those dad jokes, but I still feel pretty
questioning my choices to be here today.
Pretty lucky, genuinely fairly lucky. Stephanie, Anthony, what if luck rewards preparation more than patience? Nathan Seidel built Spark Fun by publishing open hardware work competitors would have hidden. The visibility did not reduce his edge. It made opportunity easier to find. Today on How to Founder, we're going to be talking about optionality, expanding your luck surface area. First, we're going to decide what a luck surface area is, and then we're going to be talking about it and how founders create more useful chances without becoming scattered. I am your host, Chris Franks. With me today, the lovely Stephanie Hayes, the lovely Anthony, even lovelier Anthony Franco. You're looking more lovely today.
Eat crow, Steph.
All right, so let's start off with not the question in the script, but let's start off by defining this thing. What are we talking about here? What is this idea? And I think luck surface area is an interesting concept. And so let's start off with, what is luck surface area in your opinion?
It's my camera just doesn't want to focus.
Because you're too lovely today. That's why.
Yes. I was just thinking it was your face, Anthony. I didn't think it was the camera. I just put on my glasses and I was like, "Whoa, you're not lovely." I'm taking my glasses off.
Filter. Attractive, unattractive. Attractive, unattractive.
How to know your eyes are getting worse.
Yeah.
Okay, Anthony, you've got opinions for once. What is this thing we call luck?
So luck is, is luck actually a thing? You have to talk about, first of all, do you believe in luck? I do, but you can't just sit in your chair and wait for something to happen to you. You have to, I call it expanding your luck surface area. How many opportunities are you chasing? How many people are you talking to? How many, it's a numbers game to get lucky. If you're only talking to one customer or one job candidate or one partner, part of landing a deal is finding the right person at the right time. That's luck. And if you're only talking to a few, you don't have a large enough surface area to land that deal and to get lucky. So you have to, it's about how wide a net do you cast when you're fishing.
I think it's fair. Stephanie, what do you think?
I mean, if we're truly, adhering to the definition of luck, it's always going to be something you didn't have any sort of input in or control over, right? So truly, purely luck is something that just happened to happen. But if you are going out and intentionally putting yourself in places where you can have something good happen to you, luck, right? Like you are increasing your chances of something happening that you had hoped was happen, but you have no control over. So I think that's where the difference is like luck is just a chance encounter, just a chance thing that happens. But I would argue that if you're out there putting yourself in spaces where it's more likely for that to happen, is it luck? Or is it like, we talk about manifestation as if it's some type of magical thing, but really what it is the result of your intentions, like getting really intentional and putting yourself in places and doing things that make it more likely for the thing you want to happen.
I think it's funny because when I think about getting lucky as a founder, it's about
This whole episode was to get you to say that exact thing, Chris, and we're not even
Okay, we're done.
5 minutes in, and you did it. Thank you very much for.
I work in the tech industry for 30 years. I've never thought about getting lucky in my profession.
I will say for the vast, Anthony, look at me. Like getting lucky is the furthest thing from my mind. It's just the
any romance in your life, Chris, is lucky. Same for me.
My dog is a great cuddler. I'll tell you that much. She's terrific. When I think about having luck in one's life as a founder, I think is it has to do with product market fit and timing. And one of the things that's universally true is that timing markets is really hard, right? And so understanding how fast, and so we all look at growth numbers of markets like, oh, this market is a $5 billion market today. It'll be $15 billion in 10 years. By the way, it's always a silly, wild ass guess. Like it's never accurate, but it's about finding the right market with the right product at the right time. That's not really luck, is it? That's about understanding the dynamic and understanding your product. It's like
I can sense some hesitancy here on defining luck as for a founder. Let me pitch it let me pitch the topic a different way. Is there such a thing as being unlucky? And if so, what's the opposite of that?
I mean, I feel like you and I have a lot of stories about being unlucky.
Right.
But they're never devoid
in life. And then, business is a whole other thing.
Did you say in your marriage?
No, I mean,
I hope you didn't say
Chris
that.
is so lucky to have me, I think is the real thing.
I think of luck as like, I was driving and some out of control semi truck just missed me. That I got lucky, but I had no control over what was happening with the semi truck, and it really, like, there's hundreds of people on the road. I don't know. I feel like luck is sort of always in context. You know what I mean? Like we consider it lucky.
I think it's hilarious because we're
something that we want it, right?
But like founders are such high agency people that we just we don't even like to believe the fact that occasionally the universe just lines up to get things. We're like, no, I must create my own future. It's just sort of, who we are. But
so the question becomes, can you create luck?
Yeah. And I think that's a really good point. And then how? So how is this luck surface area? And so I like the idea of luck surface area because it feels like something I have agency over. It feels like I can create that, right? I can create.
Well, then it's not luck. You're just talking about opportunity. So luck is an unpredictable force or random chance that causes positive or negative things to happen. Random chance or unpredictable force. Well, if you're putting yourself in a position where that happens to you more than often, what we call luck, it's not really unpredictable or random, is it?
Yes, it still can be unpredictable and random.
I was
So
gonna
if
say
you go
maybe
to
not
if
random,
you
but unpredictable.
if you go is going to the casino and hitting blackjack lucky? Or I would say it is. It's a little bit about luck. It's a little bit about the odds being the odds being not in your favor and you still winning. That is what they call luck, is gambling. But you can't get lucky in a casino. Sorry, there's jokes in there as well. Yeah, if you never go. Exactly right.
Right.
Or how often do you go? How often are you putting coins in a slot machine? So can you expand your ability? You're never going to win the lottery if you don't play.
You know what's lucky? Lucky is me going in, sitting down once and winning the jackpot, right? Luck, if I go all the time, my luck is going to weirdly increase, if that's how you define it. If I go all the time, the chances of me sitting down and winning everything right away, like that's luck. But if I go all the time and I happen to win something now and then, that's not luck. That's me just increasing my odds of it happening.
Here's the what we know, and Anthony, I talked about this in the speech I gave a few weeks back, which is we have no ability, despite tons of studies, to predict whether a company is going to be successful. We don't know. Like, we can't understand what factors make companies successful and what companies aren't successful, right? And so in so doing, are you just...
My focus is not, my autofocus on my camera is not working. It's also the hell out of me.
Nobody's focus is working today, apparently.
Yeah, I'm going to say, yeah. I mean, ADHD is a bitch, or fun, one of the two. It's great.
I just took my meds. We'll be okay.
It'll be fun. But the point there is that we don't understand those factors. And so, yes, there's these things that happen that are undescribable. They are things that are predictors of success that we can't figure out. And calling that luck is just as good as calling it anything else. And so I like this idea of saying there is this unknown element to success within a startup. And it is about hard work, but that's table stakes, right? Hard work, understanding your market, understanding those things is just what it takes to be a good founder. Now, there are these external factors that have to line up for your company to be successful. And we hear about and I'm not kidding. Like, I was super unlucky in a couple of my business things. Anthony, I would say you were unlucky for some complete forces of randomness in some of your business stuff. So there is such thing as bad luck. And so I think you do have to define the fact that there are these forces out there that will line up. And when they work for you, it's what creates a successful business. And they're just too variable for us to predict. And so along the question, if we call that thing luck, the unpredictable nature of that, and we define that we need to, as founders, increase our luck surface area, which I like that as an analogy. How do we do that, Anthony?
Lots of swings at a bat. You have to, I look at it as how many at bats do you get? How would I describe that? It's ensuring that you're constantly experimenting and constantly questioning, even more so than swings at the bat. I think it's also questioning if you've seen some success in your business, questioning whether or not that was your brilliant strategy or if you just got lucky, and not constantly relying on the fact that you're here because of your brilliance and not just because you got lucky. So that humility of going, wait, what fortuitous circumstances got me here? Be grateful for that and don't rely on those fortuitous circumstances always being aligned. So part of not becoming unlucky, and I suffered from this in my last company, is believing that you're there because of your brilliance and not because you got a little lucky. And then also always constantly taking as many at-bats as you can in different customers, ICPs, markets, partners, etc. Just lots of at-bats, lots of experimentation.
Stephanie, what do you think?
Yeah, I see it quite the opposite, that just saying, oh, I got lucky is really disempowering. And I think we have to constantly be looking at what we do and what we can do and what we're capable of. And
yeah, I think that's a woman thing. You need to feel empowered. I think Chris and I are just resolved to the fact that we have no power whatsoever.
Or it's the opposite, that middle-aged white men think they have all the power.
Not the smart ones. No.
Well, it's an interesting observation, because there is a gender thing, right? Like women we're still behind, right? We still come into the world and live in the world, with all this cultural commentary. So women are very much always looking to feel more empowered, right? But regardless of all of that, I think that when you say, oh, it was just lucky, I think you're discrediting what you actually did to get there, and you lose a good little chunk of knowledge that could really help you out in the future. So there's timing for sure. Like there's some things where I've been like, oh shit, but I put myself in those places when I look at it in hindsight. And it's this surface area is the concept that I think is really important, whether you call it luck, or whether you call it opportunity, or whether you call it whatever. Let's say timing, being in the right place at the right time, you increase your chances of that if you're in more places, right? And you're strategic and you're clear about what you want. We want to get down the manifestation pathway here for a second. You can think what you want about manifestation, but there is definitely something to intention, and there's definitely something to energy, right? So you want to put yourself in positions where luck can find you. All those things matter. And I don't think you just flop around through life as a founder and be like, great, I got lucky. And then just randomly do a bunch of other shit, right? So I think you can, if we're calling luck something else than what it actually is, that I think you do increase your chances if you understand what got you in a position to be lucky, right?
I think that what you guys are bringing up is two very interesting points, which are like three directions I want to head at the same time. But just starting with this point, which is that being lucky and having chance and having something good happen to you, we can accept that, and we can say, hey, this is great. However, not just sitting back and saying, well, that was good luck or bad luck, deconstructing the decisions and the factors that led up to that lucky thing. And that's about luck surface area, I think. So it's like, how can you actually analyze, as opposed to just calling something good or bad luck, actually look at where were the areas of actual chance? And that's very real, right? There are areas of chance in our lives versus what are the areas that we could control. And again, this is a very hard conversation for founders because we're such high agency people. We believe that we have control when oftentimes we don't. We act like we have control over outcomes when oftentimes we don't. And so it's like this weird thing where chance does play into this, but we don't like to believe that chance plays into it.
Well, I think we have to recognize.
Go ahead, Steph.
Well, I think if you.
Anthony then Stephanie, just because you guys are in my thing. Go, Anthony.
So, I mean, we've all met those founders that that were born on third base and thought they hit a triple.
Yeah.
And they literally just got lucky. And the ones that are humble about it, the ones that are like, I just got really lucky, they're likely to be more successful than the ones that think it was because of their brilliance and will and grit. In fact, getting lucky can be a crutch that hinders you moving forward, because you just think you're just going to you just found this formula that doesn't exist. So I do think, Steph, that it's way healthier to believe that you got lucky, and to constantly not attribute where you're at with your qualities and your talent, and to always be questioning that, because it's the risk of doing it the other way is way higher of you failing than not.
Well, I don't think that's the only option, is that either I'm humble and realize I got lucky, or I think I'm amazing and it was like, I think it's actually more like, oh, that happened. Where were we, or what did we do to get in a place where that could happen? And let me flip it,
Yes,
to kind of make
that's
this
it.
point, right?
You nailed it.
There was a period in my life where everything was going wrong, like big things, like one big thing after another, after another, after another, after another. And if I had just believed I just have bad luck, I would have just sunk into a hole of being like, well, there's nothing I can do about this, right? And because I knew that I had some responsibility for those things happening, and maybe not like directly, timing definitely was kind of not on my side. But when I could look at it and say, I see what happened here, or here's something I need to do differently, I would have just stayed in that like depressive hole of just feeling like I'm just a person who has bad luck. And if you look at research on luck, there's 3 things that researchers say can control how much luck you have. One of them is from motion. So that's like experimenting, being out there, trying new things, being in places, et cetera, et cetera. There's psychological, like believing that you can receive these things, that you have the confidence to go out there and get what you want. And then awareness, right? It's keeping your eyes open for unexpected openings. Like, I walk through every door that opens for me. And I think a lot of people sort of sit there and question it and try to know whether it's the right thing or not. And that awareness can also improve how much luck you have in your life, right? So there's the motion, the being in places, the being in motion, the trying and experimenting, and just being curious, right? You never know what conversation is going to lead into something else. You never know what this, attending this event is going to do for you. So that's the surface area. It's the motion, the psychological part of it, and it's the awareness. And I think that the three things can, if we're talking about luck as a surface area, can actually improve your surface area.
I think you just went from not liking the topic to proving the point.
Well, no, I still maintain it's just not the right definition of luck, right? Luck is very chance and unpredictable, and if we're talking about being able to influence that,
yeah, but you can influence. I mean, they have done studies where if you're flipping coins and you believe it's going to be heads,
yes, that's manifest.
It's more likely to be heads than tails.
That's intention and manifestation, which means you have some control over it, right?
Right. But
now
flipping a coin and heads or tails is the definition of luck. So yes, we're on that. We're exactly we're arguing just to argue at this point.
Yeah.
Are you new here? Like,
I think there's another point that I want to go to, which is slightly adjacent to this, and it's along the same lines, which is, if we're talking about, there are factors that happen, and we'll call it luck, and they're unpredictable, right? They're things that we can't easily predict. However, people that have activity and do things tend to be more lucky. And I know it's kind of a rough summation of what we just said, but that's sort of where we've landed. Hey, those people that actually go out and make themselves more available, they get out there, they take chances, they look for opportunities, that makes somebody, quote unquote, lucky. But there was a conversation that I had last night, and I think it's one where you just brought up, Stephanie, 2 things: this idea of focus and this idea of vision. of like what it is that you have.
As I'm out of focus, we're talking about
that this podcast is lacking entirely in this particular episode. But this idea of vision, and I think it's this concept that to be successful and to, in this case, be lucky, which is to have these undeterminate factors, you have to know what it is that you want. And you have to have some sort of vision about what success looks like to you. And that seems very simple as a founder because you say, oh, I just want to be successful. It's actually way more difficult. I think understanding what your vision of success is as a founder, what your company's vision of success is, and how you want to do that, I think getting clarity on that begets the right activity. And so activity to itself isn't going to help you be lucky. However, if you have some sort of a vision that you're working towards, that actually starts to create more surface area. Does that track, Anthony? Does that focus, Anthony? I'm just saying. You look.
And I think it goes back to what Stephanie said. It's belief. You have to have.
Belief.
You have
it's belief and intention.
So it's hard to have belief in a direction you don't know where you're going, right? So you do have to have an objective, and you do have belief in your ability to achieve that objective, and that not only forces you to go out. I mean, have you ever been to a point where so I've totally been here. I'll talk about myself. I've been in pitches where I thought to myself, if the client doesn't pick us, they've made a big mistake. And I believe that. And does that manifest in a client actually closing the deal more or less? I would wager it does. I have no actual data behind that, but the belief that we're the best solution for the client or the best solution for our customers will manifest more deals closed, more signed up users, et cetera, et cetera. So that means that you have to be really clear on what you're trying to do, and that should manifest more luck.
Is
right?
that luck though?
It is.
Yeah, I'm
It
gonna
is
ask you
because-
this.
loosely defined.
Is it so? What about risk? Like, so one of the things that these researchers also talk about is that people who create their own luck, let's say, the way they think, the risks that they take, and the resilience that they build. Because if you go out and you have one bad experience, you're like, I'm never doing that again. Then you reduce your luck surface area. What about risk though? Risk is an interesting one to think about too. If we are more likely to take risks, do we increase our luck surface area?
Yes.
I think so.
Yeah. 100%. You're also, but your luck surface areas goes both ways, right? You're going to get lucky and unlucky more often.
That's right.
Um,
And that's where
So-
resilience comes in too, right? So let's say you do get unlucky, shutting everything down because you had one bad experience. No serial entrepreneur has that behavior, right? As we all know.
Yeah. I've gotten now like fully on board with the topic finally after 29 minutes, because I just have started to realize, okay, if luck is fortunate chance, right? We just have chances and things. It is 100% about statistically how many times that you do it, right? There's famous things, but you can just say, like, if you flip a coin one time and it doesn't come out with the outcome that you want, it's a sample size of one. You have to increase your sample size to be able to find out those answers. And so I think that what you guys are saying is that notion of having a vision, understanding what it does, and then being really focused around creating those opportunities, taking chances, being resilient. I think there's some good lessons in here. I want to talk about one other thing, and it's a conversation, again, shout out to my friend Katie, who had this conversation last night, which is there's this element of, and I'm going to immediately piss you off, Anthony, because we're going to have to mark this episode as explicit. It's bullshit. And we were talking about this concept of bullshit about like, and in, growing up in Texas, the worst thing you could ever do is believe your own bullshit. Like that was the big joke. It's like, oh, that guy believes his own bullshit, which means that you are not just like trying to be confident, you are now arrogant. So to what capacity, when you're sitting in that meeting and that belief that you're talking about, where you're saying, hey, I'm creating luck because I genuinely believe that I'm the best option. What degree is that actual truth? And what degree are you kind of creating your own bullshit?
Yeah, don't believe your own PR. It's the surest way you're gonna kill yourself. It depends on am I trying to make myself feel better, or am I truly trying to serve my customers or my employees? It depends on your point of view. If your point of view is you're insecure and you need the validation, you're in trouble. If your point of view is you're really trying to help them solve their problem, you're always fine coming from that perspective. So I think it's all perspective.
Stephanie, is my bullshit is my bullshit meter any good? Is it, you following me? Are you picking up my bullshit, Stephanie, or no?
Well, I'm not from Texas, so I can't
you're from
comment on what
Kansas.
happens.
They don't have BS in Canada.
Yeah.
Really.
They have moose shit in Canada.
Shit. It's the same thing.
Like, listen, like where most people live in Canada, there are no meese because they're too far up north. And by the way, meese are much more difficult to get into a kerfuffle with than bears. You don't want to be seeing a moose in the live. Okay, I think so. Believing your own bullshit is about confidence, right? Like sometimes you have a little too much confidence, but it's that, when you show up for an investor and you are believing your own bullshit, it's pretty likely that you are communicating to that investor like your energy, that they're more likely to come along and be like, he's so confident in this, then there must be something here, right? Especially, well, anyway, we won't go there, but I think that's the trap, right? Is the overconfidence and there's we talk a lot about founders and their self-awareness, and that's one of those places that you start to run into less luck when you are overconfident and you are bullshitting your way through. We all bullshit, like we all have to have an element of bullshit to get past the early stages, right? But that's where you start to eat away at your luck surface area. It's when you are not acting like a system and taking in all of the feedback and taking in all of you're noticing and you're seeing clearly what's actually happening rather than buying into a story.
I mean, we've talked all around this. I'm trying to figure out a way to bring it to a single point, but to wrap up this part of the conversation, and we can get to the speed round, which is confidence. You have to be confident. You have to, because if you're not confident as the founder, no luck, good things will ever happen. You have to have that vision. You have to be confident in that vision. But yet, this is the weird dichotomy, Anthony, is that you have to then be humble enough to question when you are fortunate.
Confidence does not equal knowing all the answers. Confidence is knowing that you'll figure the answers out along the way and you have enough information to get started or to move forward.
Very well said. Yeah.
And there's one last thing here, and it's being ready to seize those opportunities when they come. Like if you get lucky and then you're not ready to run with that, you've got to be ready, and you got to operate as if these things are going to happen.
Yeah, I think it's well said. I mean, anything else before we go into the speed round about wrapping this thing up? So our goal is to try to create this idea of luck surface area. We do that by having a vision. We do that by being confident in that vision, being confident in the fact that we don't have all the answers, but we'll get there because we're going to be committed. I like the idea, Stephanie, that you brought up, that luck has a lot to do with perseverance and grit and coming back. It's having a lot to being very clear. And you saying manifesting, I'm just saying very clear vision about what you want to create in the world. And I think that, ultimately it is about statistically, how many at-bats you can get. How else can we wrap this up, guys? Anthony?
Well, I would add one thing, and that is, luck can seemingly be lucky that somebody made it so quickly without understanding what they're going through and doing day to day. So luck is also perspective. Like that person, that founder got lucky, may or may not be true. But what did they do that got them where they are? Is often a hidden piece of the equation as you're looking at it from an outsider's perspective.
Yeah, I think it's well said. All right, are you ready for the speed round? That's not really a question.
I liked it better when we made our guests do the speed round.
So one good thing about having guests,
the look on their faces, they were like, "What the fuck is this question?" And then they'd have to answer it. Yeah,
it's great. And then we ask a series of asinine and mundane questions. I'm going to ask a question. Anthony, you answer first. Stephanie, second. Open doors or chosen doors? Which creates better luck? I don't know what a chosen door is, but you can.
So it's asking: do you go through doors that are open for you, or do you go choose your own doors to walk through? The answer is both. You have to do both.
Stephanie,
if that's an answer, then I'll say yes to both. If I had to choose one, I would have said open, but yeah, both. We're gonna say both.
Public learning or private planning before the market notices. I'm not sure what this has to do with luck, but it's a good question.
Public learning or private? What's public learning?
Is this
I don't understand. You're blogging about all the things you've gotten wrong versus, keeping it all quiet.
Has nothing to do with luck. That's a terrible question, and I need to lash the question writer.
I was going to say shame on your AI.
Awful question.
So I think I see where this I see where this is going, in that this is not woo. Manifestation is all about your intentions and what you make happen. But this is about, if I'm putting it out in public that this is what I want, am I more likely to have good luck in it? Yes. That's your surface area, right?
One big bet or 10 proof signals. What's a better choice?
10 what?
10 proof signals. I think it's a false choice. So sorry, but I think you can make one big bet and also make a lot of small bets. If I have to choose one, it would be 10 proof signals.
Okay. Stephanie?
Yes, you're increasing your surface area. 10.
Yep.
Chance meetings or intentional personal branding with dedicated, targeted outreach? What matters more?
Curated reputation, for sure.
I think we need to talk to HR. How much notice do we need to give our question writer?
It wasn't.
I'm going to say yes.
We're going to say yes. All right. Well, really good episode, Stephanie and Anthony.
Crappy speed round.
Kind of a fizzle there at the end. We're going to have conversations about what speed means in a speed round too.
We didn't get lucky with this, with the.
got a little bit unlucky with that. Deep dive recommendations: The Luck Factor by Richard Wiseman and Little Bets by Peter Sims. Good conversation. I decided I believed in luck and didn't believe in luck 3 different times during this conversation. So I don't know quite where I landed, but yeah, it's good. Anthony, you want to talk about how you're going to improve the speed round questions and get us out of here?
Yeah, the speed round questions need some work. Thank you so much for listening, folks. Please be sure to visit us at howtofounder.com, where you can connect with us on LinkedIn and subscribe to our YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Spotify channels. Hit that subscribe button for us. And as always, the 3 of us believe you are the pioneer of economic prosperity, and we're just really grateful to be there along the way with you. Thanks, everybody. Bye.
It's almost as if you have no business training at all.